Good morning, everyone. Trees are blowing. It's a gorgeous Saturday morning, 7:05 in the morning. On my way out to the range, I got to take a CPR first aid class today. They want, well, there's going to be 40 of us in the class. Most of us will be the range safety officers. They want us all to be trained, and it's been like 40 years since I've taken anything like this, so hopefully I'll have a few highlights for you, and if they'll let me take videos, try to get some. But I want to do a little bit of a shout out video this morning. I haven't done one in a while. A couple new channels of mine. One of them is Wisconsin Wildman. He's currently at 59 subs. Does some shooting and ballistic type videos. Bonnie Cave, 26 subs. She's gardening, shooting ammo. The Mosin Nagant channel. Now this is Jeff from Gunwild81. He started a new channel for just basically Mosin Nagant. So if you got any questions about the Mosin Nagants, go over and check Jeff out. And he's at 274 subs. SomeGuyin Sandy, I believe he's up in Oregon, and he's a friend of Dirt Dark, and he's at 476 subs. StumpGreenwood SC, he's at 153 subs. Great guy. And I'm going to do I guess a shout out. It's a bigger channel. He's not one of the big channels, but he's a bigger channel. And that's my buddy Dan, the firearm guy. He's my training buddy, and he just does all around great shooting and reviews. And he's on his way to a goal, and that's one reason why I'm doing this shout out. Currently, he's at 19,618. So he's knocking on the door of 20Ks. So if you haven't seen any videos of the Firearm Guy or checked him out, go over and do that. I'm sure you'll sub him. Let's get him to that 20,000. He didn't ask me to do this, by the way. He's just a good friend of mine, and I'd like to get him to that 20K mark. Of course, go to all of these channels and tell them Trees Are Blowing sent you. And I appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you at the range to get some videos for you.
This is my career, which means I've been involved with 3,000 CPRs. Up until the last 3 or 4 years, I just didn't think much of CPR. In my experience, I would do CPR, maybe I'd get somebody's pulse back, maybe I'd get them to the hospital, and then they would lay on the machine and be brain dead, and they'd turn the machines off, kind of a Terry Scheibel kind of thing. So I wasn't real fond of CPR. I was very fond of giving mouth-to-mouth, and I was very fond of automatic external defibrillation. But what they're saying is, look around you, and this will be something that you'll see in your workbook. You can open your workbook and follow along with CPR. It really isn't necessary. You will probably gain some benefit from following along when we do the first aid portion. For CPR, it's pretty much straightforward. You always want to make sure that the environment is safe for you. Not just that it's safe for you, but that it's also safe for your patient or the victim. So the first step in CPR is to make sure that the environment is safe. They used to say, once you start CPR, when can you quit? And the rule used to be when a doctor tells you to, or when you're too exhausted to continue. Today they also say, if the environment becomes hazardous to you. In other words, everything was cool and now it's not. We could take an extreme case and say you're at a party store and somebody comes in and shoots somebody and then leaves, and you start attending to the patient who was shot, and then the shooter comes back. Well, things have changed, so now it's time to be more concerned about your safety and about the safety of the victim. As they say, is the patient awake and alert? You're going to go through a section this afternoon where we talk about finding out the problem, and so this is part of that. Unresponsive, the first thing you want to know is, will the person talk to you? And we used to say shake them and shout at them and all of that. And I did that once when I first started in Detroit. I did that once, and I've got 3 implants up here because the guy popped me. So I don't usually grab them, I just talk to them. Probably a little bit safer. If they're unresponsive, that's the time to leave and go call for the AED. Now obviously if we're at the club, we want to come up and get the AED while we're calling for 911. My understanding is we still just have the one here, right? We don't have one. I know that one time they were talking about one down there too. So somebody, if you're all by yourself and you have to make a choice, come and get the AED. In cardiac arrest, pulseless apnea patients, the best chance they have is if they're in ventricular fibrillation, and if you can get a defibrillator to them within the first 2 or 3 minutes. If you can get a defibrillator to them within the first 2 or 3 minutes, we see a 70 to 80% chance that they'll just wake up and say to you what happened. So you want to get there quick. Obviously we have cell phones. Calling 911 is an important thing to do. They're going to tell you it's important to answer all the questions that the dispatcher asks you. It is more important to get the AED down and put it on the patient than it is to answer those questions. Other than telling them where you're at. Other than telling them where you're at, the most important thing to do is to get that AED. So if there is no pulse, we're now going to start chest compressions. We don't start with the airway first. How many of you have taken CPR before? Remember they tell you to start with the airway first? Well, now they want you to push on the chest first. And they want you to push on the chest at least 100 compressions a minute. You can't push too hard, and according to the new data, you can't push too fast. It's hard and it's fast. Now, typically, if you're all by yourself, and we're going to do all by yourself and 2-person today, but if you're all by yourself, they say do 30 compressions in 18 seconds or less, and then give 2 breaths 1 second each. Now, here's the problem. Giving patients a breath may not be the best thing to do. There's all kinds of things that are going on here. Some of it poorly understood, some of it not understood at all. A lot of it we just guess at. But there is a good chance that you do more harm than good by giving your expiratory air to a patient who has no pulse. Now remember, I said a patient who has no pulse. A patient has a pulse and is not breathing, they need your air. Mouth to mouth is a good thing. But in cardiac arrest, no pulse, it would appear that patients have a 50 to 70% better chance of good neuro outcome if you don't do mouth to mouth. So what do you do in that case? You just do chest compressions. It's called hands-only CPR. Can't get much easier than that. You put your hands over the lower half of the sternum and pump away. It is, however, exhausting if you're doing it the way they want to do it. Even in hospitals today, they used to have code teams. Now they have code teams and CPR teams in many hospitals. So they may have clerks, they may have non-janitorial folks, non-medical folks that come to that code and they line up behind the patient, and all they're there for, as soon as that doctor decides that they're not pushing hard enough and fast enough, he just waves them aside. Bring another person up. That case where I talked about an hour and a half was in Minnesota, not far from Rochester, Minnesota, in a small town, and that involved 16 firefighters rotating through chest compressions over an hour and a half. Wow. So you need, when they say, does anybody know CPR? Everybody knows CPR. You can teach them right now. Put your hands there and push as hard and fast as you can. So if you're going to ventilate, we have passed out, I hope everybody got one of these. This is what we're going to be using today. Now the nice thing about this is that you can take it home, wash it, and reuse it. You're going to use it on the mannequin today. But this is a kind of a one-way thing to protect you against the patient's expiratory air and so on and so forth. And you can give mouth-to-mouth if you choose to. And that's what we'll be using on the mannequin today. Because we do have to show you how to use it, whether you want to use it.
Are you okay? Hello? Are you all right? There's no response. Can you call 911? I'm measuring. I feel for like the breastbone there. So I'm going to put my hand there. I'm going to get directly over it, and I'm going to do 30 compressions. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
So these and there's a little mask in there, along with some gloves. Now this is yours.
So I'm understanding that we're getting you first.
So this is a little mask. You open it up, stick that down the dummy's mouth.
Always 911
like that.
first.
He's not going to let you do it that way. Check the balls and just hold it over there and blow it.
Let's try this one. 30 and 2, right?
30 and 2.
Right here. Should be able to feel your own. So the other thing about these guys, this is the hand placement. So this little pink thing is representing there's a little xyloid process. A little bit of piece of cartilage on the very bottom of your sternum. That's what that is. You don't want to break that off.
Turn to the side.
So hold, use a couple fingers up and down, one on the lower
Some of them do.
Like at the airport, they do.
Some of them do. So when that thing went off, I went, oh crap. Is Amanda here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we've already established that the scene is safe, right? We've established that this guy's unconscious. We've called for help. And now Mary's going to do 30 compressions out loud.
4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Paramedics.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Stand back. Analyzing now. Analyzing now. Shock indicated. Charging. Charging. Push flashing button to rescue. Start CPR again.
Your turn.
I was going to say, go ahead.
Okay, thanks.
Cold and clammy. Slurred speech.
Well, slurred speech would be more inclined to be coordinated with either a bottle of rum or a stroke.
Well, it could be just say I'm not feeling good.
It could be as simple as I'm not feeling good, something's not right. Heart attacks are very individualized. We used to think heart attack was somebody when they said they had pain. But we now know if somebody's having a heart attack for the first time, they don't describe their discomfort as pain, usually. Only about 33% of the time. So oftentimes it's an issue of their anxiety level. You know this person and all of a sudden they're just really anxious. They don't know what, cold and clammy can be one side, but diaphoresis, sweating, can be an indication if it's on a woman. Women more frequently will sweat than men. Women will say, I'm sick to my stomach, or I'm nauseated, and be sweating and anxious. Those are red flags. They could have discomfort to their jaw. They could have discomfort to their shoulder. Now what I can tell you is most commonly, and Mary and John and What's your name again? Oh yeah, Diane, Blondie. Diane. Correct me if I'm wrong. Usually you don't see someone who's having a heart attack with sharp pain, sharp stabbing pain. Now, there is a pain, a sharp stabbing pain, in the back that can be associated with an abdominal aneurysm. So we still want to get them to the hospital, and that's not for you to figure out. What do you do in the meantime? Well, the first thing is make the call, 911. The second thing is to keep them as calm as you possibly can. Generally speaking, when you talk to the 911 operator, they're going to suggest that you give an aspirin. That's about all you can do. Get them to a hospital and keep them as calm as possible and give them an aspirin. That's about it for a heart attack.
And this information is in your book. I was looking at